Hi, Eddie Smalls, aka Manifest Man here. And if you're looking at the title of this, can you stand 63 straight days of me and my intentions? Well, that's what I'm doing. So enjoy these. Why 63 days? Well, I'm happy to be 63. In fact, I can go back to 1963 and think about way back then. What was going on? Civil rights movement. Oh, President Kennedy was assassinated. I was 7. I was in school and I didn't like school. I liked staying home. uh, 63. Numerologists say 63 is a powerful number. It means humanitarian. And it talks about philanthropy and things like that. Family, idealism. Those are things I embrace. But I basically talk about a midlife crisis. Why? Why that? What does that have to do with 63? Well, the midlife crisis has to do with everything I'm about right now, and have been for some time, because I experienced a very early midlife crisis when I was 33 years old. Now, some of you going, midlife crisis? What does that have to do with any of this? Well, I tell you like this. I didn't really know what a midlife crisis was. I heard about it. Whenever I thought about midlife crisis, I'm going to be honest, I just thought about white men. I mean, this white guy comes on and tell his wife, I've fell in love with my secretary. And hey, I want a divorce. He's 42 years old, and the wife goes, you're 42. She's 25. What do y'all have in common? He goes, well, she gets me. And she goes, I bet you he does. She does. Anyway, stuff like that. Or, these guys run around these middle-aged guys in these fancy cars. And went through the neighborhood in Ferraris and things like that. Lamborghinis, cars that, oh gosh, that costs what a corporation might be worth. These guys jamming in their garages, trying to be 17 again. And you're 55 years old and you starting a band. What I'm thinking about is you're playing this guitar and, don't you have arthritis or something? But that's what I thought a midlife crisis was. But for some reason I looked it up and I said, oh my goodness. Not only was I going through one, it was an early one. It was 33. See, when you think about a midlife crisis, what's the word crisis is what trips people up. I wasn't in my middle-aged years when I was 33. I was just getting started, right? That's what some people said, but it's a mental perception. See, there are 3 things that you think about when you think about midlife crisis. What causes them? What triggers it? First of all, there's money matters. Well, I had a job then, so it wasn't money matters with me. I mean, you always talk about money, but then the second is love and relationships. Well, you're always dealing with love and relationships, but the third one is the one that most people don't think about. Health. That's what triggered mine. See, at 33, I hurt my back. I mean, I hurt it. I hurt it so bad. That kind of hurt. I'm talking about to immobility and afraid that I had snapped my spine. That kind of hurt. It was a basketball game. Come on. What could I have? And I was even afraid to go to the doctor. I did not want to go to the emergency room. No. And I'm laying on the floor in pain, and everybody's looking at me. Come on, Eddie. You got to let us call the ambulance. No. And I'm playing Superman or whatever. No. Denial. That's the first stage of a midlife crisis, denial. I was hurt. Now, actually, I jumped ahead because I was 33 when I had this realization. That back problem happened 6 years earlier, 27. It took me 6 years to decide to do something about it. 6 years of walking like a cripple, 6 years of people saying, Eddie, you an old man. Come on, 33, I'm an old man? Well, I'm going, yeah. And that changed me because I had to go and face my mortality. No more of this superhuman stuff. Let's get real. What's going on here? I had already had knee surgery some years earlier. I had to rehabilitate both my ankles. Oh, sounds like I was doing something physical. I was. I had turned into a workout freak. Oh, people did do those things, jogging, basketball, tennis, just because you can do it. Softball. I remember we played tackle football one time. I mean, grown men. And our bosses told us if they catch us playing ball again, they was going to fire us. I still remember that. Because half of the crew couldn't come to work the next day. I came to work, but I walked in, oh. So here I am experiencing all these pains. And at 33, the pain was just too much. How do I get rid of this debilitating back problem? So I went to a doctor and then they said, well, you need to have an MRI. It's that magnetic resonance imagery. That's what it stood for. And I said, okay, I'm getting educated about this technology. Okay, doctor, do that. That's not going to hurt, is it? Because no, it won't. And he showed me a picture of my back. He said, that's your problem right there. See that little thing sticking out, touching your nerve? That's called a herniated disc. Ugh. Oh my goodness, that sounded like something crazy. A herniated disc. Oh, well, that's just big scientific doctor talk. Just means the disc slid out and touched the nerve. The nerve of that disc. But I tell you what, if anybody here knows about a herniated disc and have it touch a nerve, they know what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, you're doing the James Brown, and you're not listening to any music. Oh, you go, ha! You don't feel good, you feel bad. Ah, I feel bad. Ah, da, 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 da. That's what I was going through. Now I had to decide whether or not I was going to let the doctor go in there with, because he explained, I just got to go in there with a scalpel and clip off a piece of that disc so it could stop touching that nerve. You mean to tell me you got to put a knife in my back next to that nerve and cut? Well, you must be out of your mind. Ah. So he grabbed my leg, grabbed my foot and pulled it down. He said, now stop me from pulling your foot down. I couldn't do it. He said, that's called nerve damage. How long do you want this nerve damage? Because the more nerve damage you get, the harder it is and the longer it's going to take to heal. I said, oh my goodness, you gave me tough questions. He said, well, give me a tough answer. How long do you want this pain? How much nerve damage do you want? I said, well, I don't want any nerve damage. I don't want the pain. Okay, make a decision. That D word, decision. Okay, doc, let's do it. I had the surgery and well, let me tell you about this. First they had to drug me. I don't like drugs. I mean, I'm a naturopathic person. I don't like drugs. I mean, you're looking at a person, I've never smoked marijuana. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't drink alcohol. So anything that's going to inebriate or mess my brain, no. So you finna put something real powerful in me now. Come on, doc, tell me about this. So I'm sitting there talking to this, what they call it, an anesthesiologist. And he says, well, it's going to be simple. I'm gonna give you this thing they call a saddle block. Women get it when they about to have a baby. That's simple. They're gonna go on the base of your spine, and then I'm gonna give you some. I'll just call it happy juice. It's gonna make you happy. So he stuck me in that needle in my lower back, and then he had this other piece of it had a what's got intravenous in my arm, and he squirted this stuff in there with this hypodermic. Put it in just. I'm talking about. As soon as he did, I went. Oh. I started acting silly. Now I'm conscious. I'm looking at him. I go, oh, what in the world? And then everything starts getting dark, and I went out. Well, I saw the clock when my eyes opened, so it looked like 2 hours had gone by. Time went. I woke up. Yo, what's going on? He said, it's done. What? It's done. It's that simple. 6 years of being afraid of doctors and what doctors do. And how long was the procedure? I don't know. I mean, it was 2 hours. I think it took long for me to wake up than it was for the procedure, evidently. I just did like he said, well, just got to take that little piece of tape off. That's all. And I'm walking. I'm walking around. I'm going, boy, your fears can really destroy you. Fear of pain. That was physical pain. What about emotional pain? Yeah. I started thinking about all these things. And it was from that day on that I started wanting to examine my fears. Examine what is it about life that I'm afraid of. I honestly went through, it was like I went through a portal and came out and I stepped into another world because I started studying everything. I mean, studying was a thing anyways. The only thing I was good for in school was, making good grades. I mean, I didn't play any sports. I didn't join any organizations. I was a loner, flying under the radar, playing it small. Eddie Smalls playing it small. That's funny. But studying was something I was just good at, finding things out. I mean, teachers loved me because I always knew the answer to stuff. They didn't call you a geek or a nerd back then. Those weren't words that had been invented yet. They just called you goofy. So I was goofy. There's a couple of goofy people like us. So studying wasn't hard for me. But when I started learning all these natural ways for the body to heal itself, that's when I started examining. I got to where I could, you learn about, they call it what? Inflammatory response in the body, inflammation. If you find a way to take the inflammation out of your body, the pains will go away. I mean, I could walk. Let me stand up, let you stand up. See this? I mean, I can do this, get up on my chair and do. I couldn't do that when I was 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. I couldn't do that. I could barely stand up straight. Now, what happened? What simply happened is a mindset. I decided to make a decision and trust that where I was going and what I was doing going to be all right, and it was. I don't know if this doctor gonna like me saying his name, but I'm gonna say it. His name was Dr. Rambo. Can you imagine going to a doctor named Dr. Rambo and he's got to do some surgery on you? And I told him, sir, hope you know I know who Rambo is. Please, I'm gonna trust you. But it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, and I started making a habit out of making decisions. To investigate and do. It took me to a whole new world. So I started digging. Now, let me tell you about a midlife crisis, because that's what I'm talking about. And mine was health related. Now, health, that's Health is this: emotional, mental, physical, spiritual. That's 4 phases of health. If you get them to sort of like a line and make them work together, you get miracles. That's what happened with my back. I got the emotion part straightened out. That worked on the physical part. The spiritual part was a trust. I had to trust the universe, trust God. He's going to let God deliver. And of course, the mental part, common sense. Eddie, you need to have this. Look into it and just go do it. Now, you don't learn this stuff in school unless you're a doctor or something, or you're somebody that wants to learn it. All the things I learned in school, I didn't learn this. I had to learn this on my own. And I'm going, wow, I've been renewed. That's what I took it as, a renewal of self, of life, because I could walk again and people didn't have to make jokes about me being an old man at 33. I mean, you know, homeboys, hey, you can't play ball no more, Eddie. No more leaping for you. No more stealing basketballs. No more swinging the bat. And I know they were just being, funny, but I wasn't laughing too much. But when I went and underwent that surgery, I saw it changed me. So I'm saying, hey, challenge your fears. A midlife crisis took me to this point. Now, some of you probably, either don't or never heard of it or don't care about it. I'm not going through one. Well, I tell you what, you don't really know. I didn't think I was going through one. I had never heard of an early midlife crisis. I thought it's something they made up. All I know is this: I abated a crisis by making a decision that helped me. But I had to first get out of denial. You denying that such a thing exists. Oh, yes. See, let me give you another aspect of a midlife crisis. You don't see a future. That's the big problem. And you're trying to recapture past, which you can't do. And you can't live in the present except you're thinking about the past. That's why it's called a crisis. And I'm going, whoa. And as I look back, I'm glad I went through it. I'm glad I freaked out and did it because I was tearing my body up. I rehabilitated both my knees, both my ankles, and I told you about my back. Of course, I've hurt my shoulder, my sternum, and I'm a guy who did not play sports in high school. All this happened after high school when I was freaking out, trying to do what it is that I was afraid to do. What was I afraid to do? See, in high school, I'm looking at these athletes, I marveled at them. You can get out there in the front of the student body and risk somebody stealing the basketball from you. Or you taking the shot that may win the game or may not. And believe me, there were some heroes out there who made shots that won games. And they became legendary. What I was legendary at was watching. That's all I did. Looked. Wow, they're remarkable. Wow, they're great. So I wanted to know how it felt. So after high school, I wouldn't play sports. You call it a late bloomer. Oh, I'm really running all over the place, aren't I? That's all right. You do that when you're dealing with a midlife crisis. Because I thought about all this things. I want to know how to dribble a basketball past a guy. So, you go practice. How do you hit a softball? Do you know you can actually strike out in softball? No, serious. The ball is big. How do you miss that ball? I did a number of times because it's new. But you practice. The guy showed you, just take the ball, toss it up, and practice hitting it. Your eyes just got to learn to do it. So I did that. And finally, I got the way I could hit the ball. And the other mistake I was making was I'm out there with people who have been playing ball, these old athletes that are seasoned. And I'm here, I am thinking I'm going to be a seasoned athlete. And I didn't even play it I didn't play decent stick ball when I was a kid. I was a house person. I like to watch television and read comic books. See that M on my chest? Yeah, that's right. I mean, I was in the comic books. I was an in-the-house comic book person, reading books and, getting ready for the next test they're going to have us taking in school and whatever. And then I freaked out and went through the neighborhood and became an athlete. And all from that came a midlife crisis. And I'm looking at people up here, names of people that's actually watching me. That's Zona Clark, you're here. Athena Melchizedek Samad. There's a lot of other names here. What's that? Pam Woodward. Oh, goodness. Well, I'm calling your names because you're supposed to do this. I actually told some people that they should do these videos, and I'm saying, well, I'm giving out all this advice. Good Lord, have mercy. My day is so loaded, I need to do it. So I'm doing it. And why did I pick a midlife crisis? Even any of you got up in here and heard me talking, it's because I went through one. And I become an expert at dealing with a midlife crisis. Believe me, and I'm not joking. I mean, I've talked to men. Of course, none of them ever want me to help them. They're just going through it. The women are the one that actually want help. Now, I'm not saying men don't want to get help. We just reluctant to ask. We just wait for a crisis that really hit. I'm a man, I'll figure it out. Yeah, that's how I said about my back. Pain helped me. I couldn't figure this out. Let me go talk to my doctor. But the midlife crisis I've seen what that had to do with females, well, and it surprised me, but no, it didn't. I mean, there was a woman that told me, Eddie, I married the wrong man. Wow. There's another one told me, Eddie, I can't get a job because I did 4 years in prison. Wow. She had an early midlife crisis because she was like 35. So she went to prison at 31. Another one told me that her husband, well, she's married and their marriage just fizzled out and she wanted to get the spice back. Now, some of you thinking, why in the world would they talk to me about these things? Well, it's the same reason I talk to other people about my problems. You want somebody to help you and you just, maybe the universe guided you there. I mean, just like me, I didn't plan to be Manifest Man. I didn't plan to be a life coach. I didn't plan to help people with a midlife crisis. All I know is when I got help for mine, I got inspired. A fire got in me. I started saying, wait a minute. I felt obligated to help people because somebody helped me. I could have still been out there walking like a cripple, like somebody in one of the movies, The Walking Dead. Oh, The Walking Dead. That's how I felt at 33, The Walking Dead. Here I am, 63 years old, 30 years ago. I'm in better shape today than I was when I was 33. Now, ain't that a blip? But it all has to do with you dealing with what's going on with you. Being brutally honest. Asking for help and accepting help. The reception part too. See, I studied mass communication in college. Ask, and then you got to hear it. You got to receive it. So that's basically what I plan doing. You're going to get 63 days of this. I mean, whether you come is up to you, but I've been inspired. And I'm going to give you a piece on that, then I'm going to end this. 63. See, when I went through my midlife crisis, and it lasted a while, because midlife crises, they say for women, it lasts about 3 to 5 years, and men, 7 to 10. Mine went longer than that. It started early and lasted long because why? I was stubborn. I was embarrassed. I was mad. Why me? Why couldn't I have it? Why couldn't I just be normal like everybody else? Well, that was my problem. I'm trying to be like everybody else. Why not be who I am? It took me a while to get a grip on it. I'm 63, and a numerologist told me this. Well, sir, 63 means humanitarian. It means the end of a cycle. It means recapturing family. What are your ideals? What's your purpose? What do you really want to do now? That's what this is all about, 63. What I want to do now, help some more people that are involved in midlife crisis. And if you don't believe it, look up supermidlife.com. That's my website. I'm still working on it, but there's enough of it up for you can see that I'm doing some things because I'm serious about this. And it took 30 years for me to get this serious. That lets you know how serious it was embedded in my mind. It means some power saying you're going to do this and you're not going to leave this world until you do. Okay, sounds like my daddy. But I believe in the power of miracles. Because I'm thinking it's a miracle I'm walking like I do. People saw me dance. They just assumed I was all right. They didn't know one time I was just about crippled. And my secret identity as Eddie Smalls, I actually work at a Walmart. Well, I say that. And none of my bosses know that I have what? I don't want to say I have a bad back. I used to have one. I don't want to say my knees are bad or my ankles are bad because I walk at Walmart. And I mean, that's a place where you walk all the time. You got to walk just to go to the restroom. You got to walk just to clock in. You got to walk from one department to the other. And you're dragging things. You're picking up things. You're doing this. And I'm 63 years old, and I'm telling y'all, I'm proud that I could do these things. Because I got guys, buddies my age, who wish they could walk straight. Who wish they didn't have to have walkers, walking sticks. One of their legs in a boot. And they look at me and say, wow, Eddie. And I'm looking back and I'm going, it's all because at 33, I had the sense enough to look past my fears and decide that I was going to explore naturopathic ways to take care of my body. I just told you one of them in the most wildest way. Well, you got 62 more days of this. Might as well get used to it, or well, you can simply turn your computer off or your phone or whatever. But I'm looking down and seeing that some of you still here. So hey, I enjoyed this. Give me some comments. Whatever you want to say, I'm open to it. I'm glad y'all came. Have a wonderful, blessed Manifest Man Day.